Hey, what's up you guys? It's Dorothy and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, thank you for stopping by. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. Comment down below what you want to see in the future. Click that subscribe button and turn on my notifications. That way you can get notified every time I post a video of the next chapter of whatever book we are reading. Today's book, we are reading A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson, and I've already took a peek ahead. I haven't read the pages yet because we're reading them together, but chapter 33 and chapter 34 are super small. They're like 2 pages each, so I'm just going to combine them into this video, so I hope that you guys are okay with that. So it'll be 2 chapters in one. So yeah, let's get right into it. This video may contain foul language and sensitive topics. If you do not wish to continue, please click off of the video now. You have been warned. Alrighty, like I said, we are going to be combining 2 chapters into one since they're super small, so here we go for chapter 33. Alright, Puppuccino, Pip said to Barney, bending down to unclip the leash from his collar. Off you go. He looked at her with his slapped, smiling eyes. When she straightened up, he was off, bounding up the muddy track and winding between the trees. Her mom had been right. It was a little too late to be going out for a walk. The woods were darkening already. The sky had turned gray, peeking through the gaps and the speckled trees. She wouldn't stay out long, she told herself. She just needed to get away from her desk to get some air. She'd been working all day on her personal essay, or at least she tried to. She just couldn't focus, her eyes wandering away from her whenever she paused, gazing at her list of suspects. She didn't know what to do next. Maybe try to talk to Daniel, De Silva's wife. There was definitely friction between the couple. Or focus on the burner phone. Consider breaking into the homes of those suspects who knew about the phone and searching for it there? No. She had come on this walk to forget Andy Bell and clear her head. She reached into her pocket and unwound her headphones to continue the true crime podcast she was listening to. She turned the volume up, struggling to hear over the crunch of her boots on the fallen leaves, listening to the story of another murdered girl so she could forget her own. She took the short route through the woods as the world darkened around them. When the twilight took a turn toward night, Pip veered off the path, dipping into the trees to get to the road faster. She called for Barney when the street was visible. 30 feet ahead, she stopped at the gate and spooled the headphones around her phone. Barney, come on, she called, slipping the phone into her pocket. A car flew by on the road and headlights blinding Pip. Barney, she called louder and higher this time. Come! The trees were dark and still. Pip wet her lips and whistled. Barney! Here, Barney! No sound of paws trampling through the fallen leaves, no golden flash among the trees, nothing. Fear crept up her toes and down her fingers. Barney, she shouted, and her voice cracked. She ran back the way she'd come, back into the dark engulfing trees. Barney, she screamed, chasing along the path, the dog leash swinging and empty in her hand. Chapter 34. Mom! Dad! She shoved open the front door, tripping over the doormat. The tears stung her cracked lips. Dad! He appeared at the kitchen door. Pip, he said. And then he saw her. Pippa, what is it? What happened? He hurried forward and she picked herself up from the floor. Barney's gone, she said. He didn't come when I called him. I went around the whole woods calling him. He's gone. I don't know what to do. I've lost him, Dad. Her mom and Josh were in the hallway now, too, watching her silently. Her dad squeezed her arm. It's okay, Pickle, he said. We'll find him. Don't worry. He grabbed his padded coat and 2 flashlights from the hall closet and made Pip put on a pair of gloves before they headed out. Night had settled by the time they reached the woods. Pip walked her down around the path she'd taken. There were 2 beams of light cutting through the heavy darkness. Barney, her dad called, and his booming voice, thrown forward and sideways, echoing through the trees. It was 2 hours later and 2 hours colder when her dad said it was time to go home. We can't go home until we find him, she sniffed. Listen, he turned to her, the flashlight casting shadows across his face. It's too dark now. Well, we will find him in the morning. He's wandered off somewhere and he'll be back. He'll be okay for the night. Pip went straight to bed after their silent dinner. Her parents both came up to her room and sat on her bedspread. Her mom stroked her hair as she tried not to cry. I'm sorry, Pip said. I'm so sorry. It's not your fault, sweetie, her mom said. He'll find his way home. Now try to get some sleep. She didn't, not much at least. One thought crept into her head and burrowed there. What if it was her fault? What if it was because she ignored her final warning? What if Barney wasn't just lost? What if he'd been taken? They all sat in the kitchen the next morning, eating an early breakfast none of them were hungry for. Pip's dad, who looked like he hadn't slept much either, had already called to take the day off of work. He listed their plan of action between bites. He and Pip would go back into the woods and widen the search and start knocking on doors. Her mom and Josh would stay back and make missing posters to put up along Main Street. 2 hours into the search, they heard barking and Pip's heart picked up. It was just Lauren's mom walking their beagle and a neighbor's labradoodle. Pip's voice was hoarse by the time they circled the woods for the third time. They knocked on their neighbors' doors, houses up Thatcher Road. No one had seen a lost dog. Early afternoon, the Pip's phone blared in the quiet forest. Is that Mom?" her dad asked. "No," Pip said, reading the message. It was from Robbie. "Hey, I've just seen missing posters for Barney in town. Are you okay? Do you need help?" Her fingers were too numb from the cold to type a response. They stopped briefly for sandwiches and carried on, her mom and Josh joining them now. Traipsing through trees and across private farmland, shouts of Barney carrying on the wind. But the world turned on them, and darkness fell again. Back home, drained, Pip picked through the Thai takeout her dad had collected. Her mom put on a Disney film on the background to lighten the mood, but Pip just stared down at her noodles, wrapping them tighter and tighter around her fork. Her pocket buzzed, and she dropped the fork. She placed her plate on the coffee table and pulled out her phone. The screen glared up at her. Pip tried to blink the terror from her eyes as she put the phone face down on the couch. "Who's that?" her mom asked. "Just Kara." "It wasn't. It was unknown. Want to see your dog again?" That is the end of chapter 34 and 33. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.